Welcome to this video about covalent bonding, and it's part of the topic of structures and bonding for C2 GCSE Science. Now, here are 7 substances that you need to know very well, and you need to know them because they have atoms that are joined by covalent bonds. Now, I do require you to perhaps know a little bit of background information about covalent bonding, because I don't go into it in a huge amount of detail, so it might be worth you going back to look at the covalent bonding video I did for unit C1. All the videos that I have done for the core science units are available at my-gcsescience.com, so if you find yourself stuck on something or need to revise something in order to understand a C2 unit, you can easily go back and have a look. So here we are. Here are the substances that the specification mentions specifically that you need to know about, so let's get cracking with those. Right, so hydrogen we have is written as H2, and the way that the atoms link in hydrogen is a bit like this. Here is the hydrogen atom. It has 1 electron in its outermost shell, and it can link to another hydrogen atom by sharing electrons. And if you remember from your core science lessons, the point of doing this is to get a full outer shell. In covalent bonding, it's done by sharing. This is the first shell, and the first shell has a maximum of 2 electrons. So now each of these, because they're sharing, they both have 2 electrons in their outer shell. That's one way of showing the molecule called hydrogen. Second way is very simple. It's just 2 capital H's with a line in between. This represents a covalent bond, and it's a single covalent bond. And remember, a single covalent bond is done by sharing 2 electrons, 1 from each atom. Okay, so that's a single covalent bond there, 1 line. The third way that you have to know how to represent this is by a diagram that looks like this. Okay, and really it's just simply this diagram over here on the left, but without the shells. I've just done different colors so you can see which electron belongs to which atom, but in the exam it's unlikely that they'll color code it in this way. They tend to use crosses and circles or dots. Okay, so the next element is chlorine. The next molecule is chlorine, and very similarly it bonds together like this. We have a strong covalent bond, forgot to mention that. This is a strong bond as well. So it has a strong covalent bond linking those two, and very similarly a single line between them, and slightly more complicated looking, but again it is just this diagram on the left without the electron shells drawn in. This one over here is slightly different. Oxygen is slightly different in that it needs to share 2 pairs of electrons, and if you're thinking a little bit ahead, when we draw in this manner, you have to draw 2 lines to show that there is a double bond which involves 4 electrons, and again the diagram looks like that. Now it's going to get a bit repetitive for the next next 4 I think substances, so what I suggest you might want to do is pause in the right place, see if you can draw out the molecules in the 3 different ways and see how you do in terms of getting it right or wrong. Again, if you're a little bit confused, you can go back to the covalent bonding video for C1, and that might help you to do this. So I'll zip through this very quickly so that you just get the idea of what you need to do. So this is methane, and it's bonded like so. Carbon has 4 electrons in its outer shell. There are 4 hydrogens attached, so the sharing happens like this. And if you were to draw, it looks like that, and the last diagram is like that. Ammonia is NH3, like so, and there's the other 2 forms of the diagram. Hopefully getting the hang of this by now. And hydrochloric acid is hydrogen and chlorine, so that's joined like so, and there's the rest of the diagrams. And water like so. So hopefully you've got some idea of how this works. I want to keep this video short because really it's just memory work. You need to know about these 7 substances, all bonded covalently. You also need to know about diamond and graphite, but we're going to look at that in a future video. But please do be aware of how these substances are bonded using the covalent bond.